Hey there. If you found my video, then you're like me and you are possibly contemplating sinus surgery. I wanted to just make a really quick video because during the process of looking for personal experiences for my own surgery, I didn't find much that was very soothing or reassuring. I found mostly, I would say, videos that were meant for professionals or doctors that are learning about different parts of the face and the sinuses, and really only a couple of experiences. The experiences that I did watch and listen to were a little bit frightening, and they made it seem like it was the worst surgery you could possibly ever need to have in your life. I'm here filming. I'm not a video person. I clearly don't know how to do lighting and makeup, but I just wanted to put it out there that my experience was way different than what I saw on the internet in the first place. So right now, I am just shy of 72 hours post procedure. I went in on Wednesday, June 19th to have my sinus surgery. We left it up in the air until the moment we arrived in the operating room, whether or not they would also do a septoplasty, but ultimately I did not have one. I did not need one. The doctor did not think it was in my best interest to go there. So we stuck with the sinus surgery. So I guess I should give you a little bit of background about why I needed the sinus surgery in the first place. I would say back in October of 2022, I was pregnant with my third child, and my whole family was whomped with some really nasty case of RSV. My oldest son was out of school for a while. We just all had it. It was really nasty. That December, my husband and I went on a conference for his work. We went down to Florida, and my head and everything was still so icky from whatever that RSV was that I actually burst my eardrum on the airplane. So it was not the greatest experience in Florida. Everyone was just, me mainly, was still sick. It was pretty nasty. So Florida was about 2 months after we had the RSV in the first place. Being pregnant, I never fully recovered my full airflow and sense of smell. So we just chalked it up to being pregnancy sinusitis and didn't think anything else of it. So if you flash forward to March of 2023, my third baby was born, and I still did not regain full capacity of airflow and smell. It was problematic. It didn't hinder my day-to-day life, except when exercising a little bit more winded than otherwise. But I finally went to the doctor in the fall of 2023. So I waited a long time because we were busy with the newborn and just living life, whatever. It wasn't so bad. So finally, I went to the doctor and we started the whole process. I ended up starting with a nasal antihistamine and some Flonase to see if that would open up my passages and help me breathe a little bit better. I was on that for maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and it did not help. The next course of action, the ENT put me on an oral antibiotic and prednisone, tapering prednisone, and I was on the antibiotic for about 30 days. Didn't make a dent. So the last and final option was to go ahead and have the surgery, which I was finally able to schedule and have done just this week. So that is the background about how I got to sinus surgery in the first place. So the actual procedure itself, again, as I mentioned earlier in this video, I looked all over YouTube for personal vlog experiences with this surgery, and I walked away a little bit frightened. Some people said it was the worst pain they'd ever had in their life, and they couldn't wait to do, to have whatever to be done. Possibly those people had a septoplasty with the procedure, but again, I'm here just to talk about the actual sinus procedure itself. So on Wednesday, my husband brought me to the hospital. We had to drive about 45 minutes north because our local hospital here does not have an ENT department. So the doctor is based out of a hospital up north, and my arrival time was 10:15. They stuck with that even when I called the day before. It was great. Everything went smoothly. with timing and check-in. I got there, did the usual pre-checks, had an EKG, got hooked up to some fluids, and then met with anesthesia. And that was another big deal for me. I've had 3 C-sections and I've had an appendectomy before, and I'm really quite sensitive. We don't know if whether it's my blood pressure or the anesthesia itself or the narcotics, but I'll get awful sick. So I let them know well ahead of time that I would probably get sick and to throw everything they could at me to help me not throw up. And the anesthesiologist was great. He actually knew my husband from working together here and there. And they gave me some sort of, I think it was a motion sickness patch, and they made sure to just really be on top of any nausea, which I did not end up having. So anyway, we met with everybody, got everything ready, and by 11:45, which is exactly the time they quoted me I'd be going in, I was wheeled in, and within a couple seconds, out. When I woke up, I was actually breathing through my nostrils, which I did not expect at all. I expected to be completely stuffed up. I don't know if I felt like I was going to have my face bashed in. I'm not even sure what I was expecting based on the videos that I had seen prior. But I was wheeled out to the PACU. I was given some toast and a drink. It was great. I could breathe out of my nose. The whole ride home, I could breathe. It wasn't much different than the airflow that I was experiencing prior to the surgery, which was the cause of needing the surgery. But I figured it was status quo and that it would only get better from there. So the car ride home, I did have some bloody leakage, which was to be expected, and I'll put a picture of what I looked like on the car ride home. Just a little bandage under my nostrils to catch any drippy blood. That night was fine. I had heard that you were supposed to try to sleep sitting up. So I did. I propped myself up a little bit, and for the first half of the night, I was sleeping completely fine, breathing out of my nose, but then I was uncomfortable sitting up sleeping. So I laid myself down, and that's when all the congestion set in, probably because I was laying down. So by the time I woke up for the day in the morning, I definitely had a headache, but it was more of like breathing through your mouth, dry air kind of headache. And that was it. It was nothing terrible. So I just took some Tylenol and Motrin. I refused the narcotics that the doctor offered, which, looking back, I don't think I would have even taken one, even if I had filled a prescription. I just was never in a serious amount of pain at all. So Tylenol and Motrin has been my pain management regimen. Half the time I forget to take it. I really just need it in the morning because whatever it is about waking up, I'm feeling way more congested. So I'm using the NeilMed sinus rinse neti pot sort of thing, probably 3 or 4 times a day, and that's helping to kind of clear everything out. And I do have a follow-up appointment coming up next week with the doctor. He did say this would be our worst appointment that we've had together, so I'm a little bit nervous about what that entails, but I know there's more endoscopic cleaning that has to be done in order to maximize healing and the results of the surgery. So I'll have to come back and let you guys know how that goes. They recommended taking pain medicine a half an hour before that appointment, so I guess I'll probably try to listen. All in all, the experience, I'm just a little bit stuffy. It is not any worse than having a very mild head cold. I do not feel like I am in pain. I do not feel like I had surgery on my sinuses. The nose is really not leaking any more fluid yet. I don't want to jinx myself. Perhaps that'll pick back up again in the very near future. I hope not, but we have plenty of gauze and tape and all the things that I could possibly need to keep that under control. My kids are very much enjoying watching me rinse out my nostrils with the NeilMed pot, which is pretty funny. And yeah, so I guess the whole point of this little video here is to let you know that it is not as scary to have sinus surgery as some people have made it out to be. I know my doctor had mentioned prior he didn't wish sinus surgery on even his worst enemy, but in reality, it's not a huge deal. So if you are like me and you are needing sinus surgery to help better your breathing and maybe regain your sense of smell, then don't be afraid. It's really not a huge deal. So that's it. I will let you know how the follow-up appointment goes, and we'll go from there. Okay, bye.